Hello, and thanks for choosing this video training course. Fiverr can be said to be the largest online marketplace for $5 services. They can also be said to be the pioneer in this market. With this unique idea of selling services for just $5, Fiverr has grown exponentially since its launch. In this course, I'm going to show you how to become a superstar seller in Fiverr. Fiverr has opened up a new business path for sellers to offer their services and earn massive income. As I mentioned, Fiverr is a global online marketplace that offers various tasks and services beginning at a cost of $5 per job performed. This is how Fiverr derived its name. It always starts with a $5 job. If you ever wonder how offering just a $5 job can earn massive income, I'll tell you the secrets throughout this course. The site is primarily used by freelancers to offer services at a cost of $5. As time passes, Fiverr lists more than 3 million services on the site, with the price ranging from $5 to $500 now. Fiverr is a good place to start with to build your freelance empire. Here's a list of things of what Fiverr can do for you. Sometimes, looking for a platform to present your services can be the most difficult thing for a freelancer. Connection is all a freelancer needs, and Fiverr has created this platform for you. This is a place where everyone can be connected to search for the services that they need. Fiverr is extremely easy to navigate and use. The website design is clean and clear, that even first-timers can understand the concept easily in no time at all. An account on Fiverr is all you need to start with, whether you are a seller or a buyer. As you already know, Fiverr is a marketplace where people can offer their services starting at a cost of $5. The concept of Fiverr is straightforward. As a seller, remember this 4-step procedure. Communicate with the buyer, accept the gig or send them a custom offer, deliver the gig, and complete the order. With just a few simple steps, you can make money while doing something that you love. Isn't this a life goal to achieve? With Fiverr, you can do this if you play your cards right. Now that you already know the whole concept and what Fiverr can do for you, the next step is to prepare the necessary tools for it. First of all, you will need to sign up for a Fiverr account. The process of signing up is simple. Just enter your email and set up your password. Moving on, especially for the newbies in the internet business, do your own niche research. Looking for a suitable niche to start the business is the utmost important task you should do before anything else. It can be something which you are already doing, what you love, and most importantly, something that can sell. Lastly, you will need to have your own PayPal account. PayPal is the main payment method that is accepted by Fiverr. If you already own one, link it to your Fiverr account. If you do not have one, it's time to create one. Do not worry about the fee, as creating a PayPal account is free. First of all, signing up for a Fiverr account is free of charge. Go to their website, then click on Join to sign up for your account. As mentioned, enter your email and set up the password. Other than that, you can connect Fiverr to your Facebook or Google account without creating a new account. The whole process is extremely easy. It's not necessary to fill in any other information unless you want to customize your profile manually. After that, you'll receive a confirmation email from Fiverr. Activate your account through the email. And once you have completed the activation, you can start selling on Fiverr. The second thing that you'll need is a PayPal account because it's the main payment method accepted on Fiverr. They do not accept credit cards and bank transfers, as every transaction will need to go through PayPal. If you already have a PayPal account, just link it to your Fiverr. Fiverr will require you to do this action when you sign up for Fiverr. If you do not have a PayPal account yet, sign up for one and link them together. Other than linking your PayPal account to Fiverr, you can set up a Fiverr revenue card as well. The Fiverr revenue card is the second method for you to manage your revenue. It's basically a payer card that allows you to treat it like an ATM card. However, you will need to pay a yearly fee for this, and the yearly fee may vary in price. There are some things that you will need to take note of before you start your business with Fiverr. Nothing comes for free. Fiverr will pay only 80% of your revenue. The other 20% revenue share with Fiverr and PayPal will be deducted straight away. This is what you need to know. Instead of getting the full payment of $5, you will get $4 instead. Other than that, you will need to wait for 14 days for withdrawal. I know that this may be a big turnoff, but you can gradually get your way up as a top-rated seller. And when you've achieved the status as top-rated seller in Fiverr, you will only need to wait 7 days for withdrawal. There are over 3 million gigs competing for attention on Fiverr, so it is not easy to stand out on the results page. The only way to get more exposure on Fiverr is to get featured on its homepage. Like I said, it's not easy to get your gig landing on the homepage because there are way too many competitors on Fiverr all around the world. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to get your gig page to the homepage. By this, you can double the traffic to your gig page. Just by increasing the traffic, chances to start a conversation will be higher. Getting featured by Fiverr is indeed exciting for the sellers, but Fiverr never publishes any article on how to get picked by them. Most of the sellers who get picked may be wondering how they managed to get there as well. Sellers are unable to buy their way through to the featured page. The reason to be featured by Fiverr remains unknown, but I believe there are formulas and criterion to be decided as to who gets on the homepage and who gets a featured listing. When your gig gets picked to be featured, your gig will be highlighted throughout Fiverr. This would be a great chance to gain exposure, and you will get more traffic to your gig page. So without delay, let's move on to the criterion that you will need to fulfill. First and foremost, you can try offering unique gigs. Just like I said before, there are over 3 million gigs listed on Fiverr. Fiverr needs to showcase services that people can find on their site. So, if you are offering the same services like everyone else, why should they pick your service? Make your offer the unique one to be picked by the editor because Fiverr's homepage emphasizes importance on first impression. Providing unique services with only $5 is their trademark. To get picked to be on the homepage, you will need to offer something different. It also needs to appeal to mass segments of visitors. Fiverr will pick unique offers to show their visitors what they have. If you are offering a one-of-a-kind gig that no one else has yet to offer, chances to get picked are higher. The next factor will be on the value of your gig. Fiverr picks services that have high value in return. You may be wondering, how can there be high value in return if all services are worth only $5? This means that a high-value gig should be marketed to be worth more than just $5. Give an impression that your service is worth more than $5, and yet you are offering it for just $5. Offer something that people will be surprised to get for that amount. This is the ultimate purpose of offering high-value gigs. When people know that the return on investment is going to be higher, your gig will become the next high-converting offer. This would be a guaranteed ticket to turn your offer into an irresistible deal. Getting high-converting gigs to be featured on the homepage is going to be one of the factors that Fiverr takes into account. Fiverr keeps track of the conversion rate of each gig in their site, not only on the traffic to your gig page, but also the visitors who end up actually buying your service. It can be concluded that the higher your volume of sales, the higher chance your gig will be featured. Fiverr does not simply pick random gigs to be shown on the first page. They want to showcase those with high-quality service to the visitors. This is obviously one of the main factors that Fiverr would hold onto because they won't make money until someone buys something. So the first page and the featured list can be said to be their source of income. There is a higher possibility that people will buy from the featured gigs on the first page. This would be a similar factor to the conversion rate factor. A higher average order value makes your gig more likely to land on the homepage. Like I said, Fiverr doesn't make any money until someone buys something. This is how they earn their portion by sharing the revenue with their sellers. They are highly dependent on the gig multiples and gig extras to increase the average of your order value. When your average order hits at least $10 for each gig, you are more likely to be chosen. Remember that Fiverr always shares a fixed percentage of revenue with the sellers. The more you earn, the more they will get as well. So, the homepage is a place to boost their earnings. In conclusion, your average order value for each gig has to be high. Last but not least, getting excellent feedback and reviews from customers and achieving high star ratings is one of the factors. This is the final criteria that Fiverr takes into account, the star ratings of your profile. You will probably need to hit positive reviews close to 100% in order to be featured. Having a high percentage of positive feedback is the key. When the percentage of positive feedback from your customers is high, it contributes to your star ratings. When your star rating is high, your converting rate will increase as well as the average of order value. The factors are all related to each other, and this is how Fiverr will evaluate your profile. There are definitely other factors that Fiverr will take into account. However, these are the 5 main factors that contribute the most into it. If you want to get picked and featured on the home page of Fiverr, work on these factors first. When you are on your home page, hover over to the username and click on the option of Create a Gig. However, if you are a new seller, you will see an option of Start Selling instead. You will be directed to the page where you can fill in your gig title. Remember to optimize your gig title. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to type Create a Flat Logo for you. Then, click on the drop-down menu and select the category of your gig. Once you've selected the category, another drop-down menu for you to choose a subcategory will pop up. Pick the subcategory and move on. Upload your cover photo. This will be the photo that will represent your gig. It will show up on top of the gig page. Then, move on to the gig gallery. Think of it as a showcase of your work and select a few of them to upload. I'll upload a picture for demonstration purposes. When you scroll down further, you can edit your gig description here. You can then edit your gig metadata and tags here. Last but not least, select your delivery time. Click on the drop-down menu and select the time that you need to deliver the work. Once you're done, click on Save and Continue. You will then be led to the pricing page. The first part you'll see is the pricing for your basic gig. By default, it will be $5. You can edit your delivery time and do any revisions here. Click on the drop-down menu and customize it. When you scroll down further, you can edit your gig extras. You can only add 2 gig extras if you are a new seller on Fiverr. In this case, I will not add the gig extras. If your service requires physical shipping and you will need to charge extra for the shipping, you can select it here and state the fee for it. And once you're done, click on Save and Continue. The next part that you will need to edit is the video. You can now upload a video to present your service on Fiverr. It is highly recommended for you to promote your gig with a video because they help to sell by 220% more. And once you're done, click on Save and Continue. Then you will be redirected to the requirement page. This is a page for you to tell your buyers what you will need to get started on the work. Click on Save and Continue. Finally, you will be directed to the Publish page. Click on Publish Gig to do so. And there you go. You've just created your first gig. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own account and start selling. When you are on their landing page, you will see the Join option on the top right menu bar. Click on it and you will see a pop-up window. You can enter your email in this window to continue with the rest of the procedure, or you can choose to connect with your Facebook or Google. It's up to you on whether you choose to connect Fiverr to your social media platform or not. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you through entering my email address. Once you've entered your email address, click on the Continue button. Then, choose your username and key in your password. And once you're done with that, click on the Join button. You will need to activate your account. Check your mailbox for the confirmation email and follow the steps to activate your account. And that's all there is to it. You've created your own account. Moving on, to configure your own account, hover over to the username on the top right of the page. You will see an option of My Profile. Click on it and wait for it to load. You will then go to your profile page. You can edit the one-line statement here by clicking on this. Then you can add a photo to your profile. This is an essential part because your profile picture is going to represent the first impression to your visitors. So be wise on choosing your profile picture. You can also edit the About section here. Once you're done editing your profile page, click on the Save button to complete the procedure. Now, hover over to the username once again and click on the Settings option. There are 4 sections here, and I'm going to walk you through each one. Let's start with Public Profile Settings. You can add the languages you speak in this section as well. Click on the Add Language and select your options. Then click on Save Changes. In the Account Settings page, you can edit your full name and email address. The email address field will be filled automatically according to the email you've set in the beginning. In the case that you connect your account with your Facebook, it will be the email that you used for your Facebook. Same thing happens if you connect it to your Google account. You can edit your billing information here as well, such as your business name, house address, and so on. And once you're done, click on Save Changes. You can also set your own security question in the Security Settings tab. This is to prevent others from hacking into your account. You can choose not to set this up too. Moving on, the last tab is the Account Actions tab. You can change your password here, as well as terminate your Fiverr account. That's all there is to it. You can start selling now. Hi, and welcome to this training course. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create extra gigs in your Fiverr gigs. You may be wondering how someone can survive by working solely on the orders on Fiverr. Isn't it just $5 for each gig that you're receiving? And yet, some of the sellers can take this as their full-time day job. How can this be possible? The answer is in this video, and I'm going to lead you through these. Creating gig extras is just like creating a sales funnel to your Fiverr. You will be able to sell them something which is more than just a front end. Without delay, let's get started. A gig extra allows you to earn more than $5 for one gig on Fiverr, just like I've mentioned. Gig extras play the role of upsell in the sales funnel. You need not send more traffic to the same place. By just offering the gig extras, you can generate larger profits with the same amount of traffic. Gig extras are the additional services that you can offer them on top of the gig for an additional price defined by the sellers. For instance, you offer a 3-minute voiceover with $5. The gig extras that you can put here is an extra $10 for syncing the voiceover to your 3-minute video. The prices for your gig extras are all up to you, but take note of this. The gig extras that you offer must be congruent to your gig, and the price must be fair. For your information, there are 4 levels on Fiverr. The levels are New Seller, Level 1, the Pro League, and lastly, Top Rated Seller. In each level, you will enjoy different kinds of privileges. Obviously, the higher your status is, the more privileges you're going to have. It is important for you to understand this concept because in a different level, you will have different numbers of gig extras. Let's start with the New Seller. When you have just gotten started on Fiverr, you'll be complimented with 2 gig extras, meaning to say you can offer 1 gig extra up to $20 for 2 times. This is the starter pack offered by Fiverr. When you've hit the criteria and given a level up from Fiverr, the gig extras that you can offer will increase automatically. The options to add on gig extras will automatically appear when you are editing your gig page once you've reached the next level. The next level is Level 1. When you fulfill the criteria, Fiverr will notify you. First and foremost, you will need to know how to get the Level 1 status from Fiverr. The criteria to reach Level 1 includes being active on Fiverr as a seller for 30 days, complete at least 10 orders, maintain a 4-star rating or above, achieve a low cancellation rate from your customers. When you hit this target, you'll be categorized as a Level 1 seller on Fiverr. By this time, you will be able to have 4 gig extras, as well as the gig extra offered up to $40. To reach Level 2 or the Pro League, you will need to achieve a few criteria. Complete at least 50 orders in 2 months, remain a 4.5 star rating or above, achieve a low cancellation rate from your customers. When you have fulfilled all these, you will be able to offer 5 gig extras at the same time for up to $50. Finally, when you've reached the top level and become a top-rated seller, you will have the best privileges that can double or even triple your revenue. First of all, you must maintain a high star rating in between 4.7 to 5, provide exceptional customer care, which will be evaluated by Fiverr, achieve low cancellation rates, show Fiverr your leadership, which will be evaluated by Fiverr as well, and finally, achieve a high volume of sales. Fiverr will be evaluating top-rated sellers to ensure they maintain exceptional service and to make sure they meet the standards from Fiverr. There is a reason why they would set up a high standard to reach this level because the privileges you are going to have are exclusive. You can offer up to 6 gig extras in 1 gig alone. In addition, the price for 1 gig extra can reach up to $100. This is the privilege that only top-rated sellers would have. Fiverr is a popular site for freelancers to offer their services for $5, and this is how they derive their name. From the day they were launched until today, there are over 3 million services available on their website by now. Fiverr is a potential platform to earn massive incomes as well as a competitive platform. How can you possibly bring your profile up to the homepage and generate more traffic among the 3 million services? In this video, I'm going to show you how to do this. Utilizing the social platform is definitely a great way to generate traffic to your profile. Social media advertising is always the go-to platform to promote your gigs. You can promote your gigs on social media channels such as Facebook and Twitter. You can create your own Facebook page so that whenever you update a gig on Fiverr, you could post an ad on your page. Another advantage to creating your own Facebook page is that you could possibly create your own community with targeted audiences. Every single visitor that visits your page could be your potential customer and eventually your long-term client. At the same time, you can join the groups or forums that are related to Fiverr. Once you're connected to the group, you can post ads to promote your gigs. Beyond Facebook and Twitter, where you can post your ads to promote your gigs, you can also create Pinterest pins, Instagram photos, and even YouTube videos. These are great platforms that you can fully utilize to promote your gigs. The next method to generate traffic is by accumulating positive reviews from your buyers. The more positive reviews you get from them, the more likely you will be visited by other buyers. Visitors are now comparing the star ratings of sellers before they buy your service. Your star rating is an essential factor that influences visitor decisions to purchase from you or not. Put yourself in the shoes of buyers. Would you do the same before you contact the sellers? People are wary of paying someone for a gig because they are taking the risk of wasting money on a terrible service. So, getting positive feedback and maintaining 4 to 5 star ratings is an essential factor that helps in attracting more traffic to your gig page. You won't be able to buy your way through to get positive feedback. The only way to combat in this reputation building process is to earn by the service that you are going to offer. Focus on satisfying customers, where you can deliver good quality of work that is worth way more than what they've paid, and target to win their heart at the same time. Over time, you'll accumulate a critical mass of positive reviews. Optimize your gig description to target your niche. First and foremost, you must pick a targeted niche and understand them. Do not aim for general service. Focus and be the best in the targeted niche that you've picked. Optimizing your gig description is essential, as this is the only way people can get to know about the kinds of services you are offering them. To pick a targeted niche, do some research on the hot keywords that visitors will usually search for on Fiverr. Without keywords, your gig will not show up for relevant searches by the visitors. Other than optimizing the text in your headline, use graphical elements in your gig description as well. Visual cues always create a larger impact than text. Hence, you can use graphical designs or even videos to introduce your gig. Take note, your video must always be congruent to what you're selling. Finally, the last method that you can use is to create your own advert campaigns. This is different from creating your own Facebook page or community in Twitter, as advert campaigns attract serious buyers. When you run advert campaigns on social media, you are directing paid traffic to your page. Paid traffic is normally more targeted than organic traffic. The platform where you can run advert campaigns are Facebook and YouTube. These would be the largest and best platforms to run your campaign. Compared to text advertising, video advertisement is more compelling, especially if your offer is graphic and video related. You can create a showcase on your work in video form and upload the video on YouTube to promote your gig. Besides running advert campaigns on the social media platforms, utilize your own website as well. This is especially useful for someone who is already in the online business with a mailing list, whereby you can start an email marketing campaign to mail out your offers to your list. The subscribers in your list already trust you, so you don't need to break that hurdle. If you don't have a mailing list yet, you should start building one. If you do not own a website, you can do it through Fiverr. Just ask for an opt-in when users make a purchase on your service. Do not hesitate to do so, as growing your own list is definitely a must in online businesses. With a list in hand, you can always mail out your offers. Increasing traffic to your gig page will not be a problem. Getting 5-star ratings is essential to keep you as a top-rated seller on Fiverr. You will get a lot more features when you receive the status of top-rated seller on Fiverr. And the chances to get picked up by Fiverr to be the featured gig will be higher as well. This is why it's important to maintain your reputation and get at least 4-star ratings from each buyer that you've served. As a seller, you would not want to miss out on this module on how to get and maintain 5-star ratings on Fiverr. Without further ado, let's get to it. Let's start with the Fiverr's level, where all the basics are covered. It is important for you to know what the ratings that you need to fulfill are in order to move a level up. You are automatically categorized in the group of new sellers when you get started on Fiverr. Fiverr will lend you a hand when you get started. In this level, if you want to move up a level, you will need to maintain a 4-star rating and above. If you manage to do so, congratulations. You will then be upgraded to a level 1 seller. As a level 1 seller, you will obviously need to work harder in order to get into the Pro League. In this level, you will need to maintain at least 4.5-star ratings or above in order to move a level up. When in the Pro League level, you will need to fulfill 4.7 to 5-star ratings in order to receive the status of a top-rated seller. It is not an easy process if you do not know the correct way of getting 5-star ratings. I'll show you how to do this in this video. Ready for something exciting? There are a few methods to maintain 5-star ratings. If you know the game well enough, you will definitely get the points that I'm going to say. You will not be rated before you complete any delivery, so the first order is the most vital job that will decide the starting rate of your profile. First of all, you must deliver good quality of work. Don't sell something that you aren't satisfied with. It can be pretty tricky to keep a 5-star rating as a seller on Fiverr, and delivering good quality work is a must. Also, don't be afraid to over-deliver. Run your Fiverr gig as if you are running a real business. Be courteous, and remember that they are your customers, not some random people who are merely buying something from you. Last but not least, build up a relationship with your customers. As mentioned, run your Fiverr gig as if you are running a real business. Customer service is a vital task, and also a great lesson to learn. If you can maintain a good relationship with your customers, getting a 5-star feedback from them is not as hard as you think. Let's get into each section now. To be able to deliver good quality work, it is not your decision on the standard of good quality work. It is always about your customers. The key concept here is not how you feel about the work, it's about how they feel about the work. Always contact your customer earlier to deliver them the sample work. This will give you extra time to revise the work and do whatever is requested from them. Most importantly, do not treat this as freelance work. When you start to treat this as just freelance work worth just $5, you will not be able to deliver good quality work. Always think of this as an opportunity to improve your work. If you manage to keep this up, you can keep them as your long-term customers. People will always come back to you for your service because they have had good experience dealing with you. Don't deliver if you are not satisfied with it. This is the key to delivering good quality work. Set your standards to be slightly higher so that if you are satisfied with the end results of your work, your client is definitely going to love it even more. Over-delivering is the easiest way to make a buyer happy. If you've promised a 300-word article, write 350 words. Don't hesitate to over-deliver your work. In fact, you must deliver work that is worth more than what they've paid for. This is a great way to keep them as your long-term customers as well. In the industry of service, you can never run away from difficult customers. Everyone is bound to come across at least one impossible customer every once in a while. Sometimes dealing with difficult customers can burn away our patience, but let me tell you this, over-delivering is the best way to make them happy. You must understand that building up a relationship with them is the only long-term solution to get them to come back to your service. The only way to build up a relationship with your potential customer is through conversation with them. So, your profile picture plays a great role to cement your first impression. When you finally have the chance to start a conversation with them, acknowledge them by their name. Always remember to name them first before you move on to your content. People will always recognize your effort on remembering them by name, even though it's just a small part in the conversation. But it certainly creates a huge impact. Moving on to your content, be wise in the choice of words. This is especially important when you are dealing with difficult customers. Even though you might be getting impatient, you must keep your mind calm when you're dealing with them. Last, be responsive. Even though you may be running this as freelance, you must always check your mailbox. You must be responsive not only in terms of time, but also in terms of their requests. Always ask if you do not understand their request. This will solve the problem on any last-minute changes. You must have the best Fiverr gig ideas in order to sustain a good rate on Fiverr. Fiverr has a list of more than 3 million services on their site. In order to survive in this competitive platform, your gig idea must really stand out among the others. A super hot selling gig is good. A super hot selling gig which you can complete in no time at all will be even better. You can earn more than others with a gig that costs you lesser time than others. This will be most amazing for you if you are a result-oriented person because you can see results almost instantly. This is why niche research is essential. You can earn massive revenue if you pick the right niche. So I am not going to waste our time anymore. Let's get into the niche research. There are 3 big niches that have generated most of the sales on Fiverr, which are internet marketing, graphics, and video creation. These are the ultimate surefire niches. There is no ranking for them as they are equally hot-selling gigs on Fiverr. You may see a trend here. These are the niches that are worth more than $5. Yes, this is the exact reason why they can be the best-selling gigs on Fiverr, because people love to receive something that is worth more than what they paid. You can start by looking for something that you can offer under any one of these niches. Starting with the internet marketing niche, here is a list of services that you can offer as starters. The internet marketing niche is wide, and it can take up to hours just to complete the task. So, what you can do is brainstorm on the sub-niche under internet marketing that will not cost you much more time to complete. SEO keyword research is one of the services that you can offer for $5. If you have basic knowledge about keyword research, you are good to go. Lots of small businesses and startups do not have their own marketing specialists to do this for them. So they start looking for services like this to deliver quality reports with lower costs. Besides keyword research, you can add on gig extras to stack up the order. You can offer domain name ideas and content writing services. Adding up other gig extras, you can earn up to $15 to $20 for a gig. Moving on, content creation is also a highly demanded hot service. What you can offer is a 300 or 500 word article and charge them $5. If they wish to have longer articles, they will need to pay another $5 to get a multiple of your gig. Do the same to add up a few options for gig extras, such as ebook writing for another $50. You can offer as many as you like as long as it's congruent to your service. Last but not least, you can offer them a squeeze page building service for $5. Building a squeeze page is not a difficult task. It may take you half a day or a full day to build it. This is because some of the internet marketers, especially newbies, do not know how to build a page. Let's move on to the next niche, the graphic niche. For the graphic designers out there, this would definitely be the right place for you. When you are wondering where to get extra income just by what you're doing, Fiverr is for you. Since there are lots of things that you can offer in graphics, let's just focus on 3 of the main ones on Fiverr. It is possible to earn up to $2,000 a month with the graphic-related gigs. First and foremost would be logo creation. Did you know that logo creation from a professional designer can cost up to thousands of dollars? And if you can offer a nice one with a lower price, why not? This is what makes logo designing the super hot selling gig at the moment. Creating a vector can be an easy job for you, but people are still looking for someone to do it for them. So this can be a great additional freelance that will not take much of your time, and at the same time be your second stream of income. And don't forget to add a few gig extras options in your order. Lastly, flyers designs. Tons of businesses out there need flyers and posters, and they are ready to pay you a good amount of money for it. Usually, one order can stack up to $30 easily with some gig extras. There are a lot more gig ideas that you can offer on Fiverr in the graphic niches, such as infographics, business card design, and the list goes on and on. Video creation is the third niche that has most of the featured gigs. Especially for internet marketers, they want videos like this and much more. Making a video is not easy if you do not have the right tools. Hence, outsourcing is the easiest way. The first choice would be offering to create a whiteboard animation. With the right video marketing software, you can easily make up to 3-minute whiteboard animations within a day. And you can charge them $5 for each minute, which makes up to $15 here. In addition, you can offer them a voiceover recording for $15. The calculation's easy. You can earn at least $30 with just a single gig. The second most popular video that most marketers need is a speed drawing video. This can be done easily with video making software as well, yet people are willing to pay for someone else's time to do the job for them. If you did not belong to any of the 3 niches that I've shown you just now, do not worry. If you belong to other fields and are still keen to start selling on Fiverr, here's what you're going to do. First and foremost, you can offer a voiceover service on Fiverr. If you are confident with your own voice, marketers occasionally need a certain accent to speak in their video. Here's when they will need to outsource this to someone else. You need not have a fully equipped studio to do this, just an additional microphone and a silent place will do. Apart from this, proofreading and editing services are very much needed on Fiverr as well. Proofreading and editing can be two separate gigs. It's easy if you have a good command of English. You can offer to proofread a 300 or 500 word article for $5. They will need to get multiple gigs from you if they need more. And then offer them a gig extra option to edit the article for another $5 or $10. Last of all, offer a translation service. If you are fluent in other languages, you can afford to offer this service on Fiverr. You can charge a little extra because translation needs more time than content creation and proofreading. Offer them a 200-word translation for $5. They will add up the rest. Optimizing your Fiverr profile is more than just for the sake of introducing yourself. Your Fiverr profile is more than just a place to show your face and showcase a few words to describe what you can do for them. It can be an essential part where you can convert interested visitors into your customers. Buyers have only one place to understand the sellers, which is through the seller's profile. It is a matter of trust. Imagine that you are in the shoes of your buyers. Will you still buy from someone whom you know nothing about? Your Fiverr profile gives you a place to build up trust between you and them. So without further ado, let's get started. Like what I've mentioned above, your profile is the only way for your visitors to know more about you. Your Fiverr profile represents the first impression. It is a part of you, thus it's important that buyers can get a real sense of who you are and what your passion is. If the first impression cannot grab their attention, the chances that they will come back to your profile are low. If you are a newbie who has just started the business, you can build up your credibility and reputation as your profile is new with lesser reviews and feedback. Be wise in the choice of words and profile picture. Profile pictures do matter for some people because the visual image creates a larger impact than words. Optimizing your profile creates a higher opportunity to start a conversation with potential customers. The key is to put yourself in the shoes of your visitors. You will need to think like how they think. When visitors are skimming through profiles, what are the things that they will take note of? And what is the main thing that will catch their attention? These are the factors that you will need to take into consideration. When you have the opportunity to have a conversation with them, chances that they will buy from you are much higher. So what are the things that you can optimize on your profile? Basically, there are 6 parts in the profile. The first part, and also the most vital part, is the featured gig that you use to present yourself on Fiverr. If you notice, the first thing that buyers can see from a seller is none other than the featured gig picture. So be wise on choosing which picture to be used to represent your gig. The next part will be the profile picture. Your profile picture may be a small part on the gig page, but it creates a huge impact to the visitors as well. I will explain more on these features later on in this module. Moving on, if they click on your profile picture, they will then be directed to your profile page. This leads to the one-line statement in your profile. There is a new feature on Fiverr which allows you to write a one-line statement under your profile name to describe yourself. The next part is the About section on your profile page. The About section is there for you to build up your reputation and credibility. Use it to tell your visitors about what you can offer them and what you're passionate about. On the right side of your profile page is where you can show visitors your bestseller package. This could be the same as your featured gig picture, but it may be different sometimes. Finally, one of the most significant ways to help sellers communicate more effectively with potential clients is through recent reviews and deliveries. Without further ado, let's move into each section. As mentioned, the featured gig would be the first thing the visitors will get to see before anything else. Regardless as to whether you are being featured by Fiverr or not, the featured gig picture will be shown in the research results. It will be the bestseller gig offer that you have at that moment. When the visitors click on the featured gig, they will then be directed to the gig page. From there on, they may click on your profile picture to check out what else you can offer them. While the featured gig picture plays a role to represent your gig, your profile picture serves as the role to give them the first impression towards you as the seller. You must take the chance to cement that first impression towards your visitors. When you are filtering the pictures for your profile, choose the one that could represent you or your business. A profile picture that represents you will be best. They do not have any other way to see or know who the person who is dealing with them. The one-line statement is a short statement along your profile description. It can be edited on the My Profile page. Make use of this one-line statement. It is a great chance for the visitors to get to know you and trust you. When you are editing this section, think of the first statement that represents you. Write about what your passion is and who you are. Think of it as a way to brand yourself. In the About section, write a simple and clear description about you. You can include your sales record if there is any. Like I mentioned, this section is for you to build up your reputation and trust. Your sales records will be the most prominent thing that could build up the trust in a short period of time. Let the numbers prove your worth. There are other sections that tell the visitors about your service, such as delivery time, languages you speak, recent delivery, and so on. Some of the information will be filled in by Fiverr. This would be a good chance to give them more information about you. Be sure to convey the truth. Be honest to your visitors and do not promise them something that you can't deliver. That will definitely ruin the trust between you and them. The bestseller package is the small section on the right side of the page. It displays your most popular gig, gig extra, and gig description. This would be a great way to encourage increased sales. When buyers click on it, the gig page opens with a gig extra selected for them. When you get feedback from the other buyers, Fiverr will automatically display the feedback on your profile page. The buyers can see the reviews when they scroll further down your profile page. This would be the best thing ever, where you do not need to do the talking directly to them because the reviews will prove your worth. When you deliver quality work, people will come to you automatically. Positive reviews are like a magnet. You do not need to put in much effort to get buyers if you have plenty of positive reviews. This affects the purchase rate. It is important to keep track of your trends and sales, as this would help you to improve your future gig. This will not be an easy task, but it is in fact an efficient method. Without further ado, let's get started. When you are on the dashboard of your profile, hover over to the Selling tab and click on Analytics. As you can see, this is a rather new account, so there is no ongoing sales yet. But if you've been on Fiverr for quite some time, you will see that there will be some statistics here on this page. You will see how much you've earned this month, the orders you've created, the average selling price, and your positive ratings. These four options are on the top of the page. The next thing that you'll need to take note of is the statistics below. You can see the rate of getting new orders, gig extra orders, multiple orders, and delivered orders as well. When you scroll down further, you will see the statistics about your reviews. You will also see the reviews from your customers in general. Moving on, when you scroll down to the bottom, you will see how many active gigs you have, page views by your visitors, gigs saved, and the conversion rate of your gig. You will also be able to see the progress needed in order to level up your profile page. And that's all there is to it. It is advised that you keep track of your trends and sales once in a while in order to make sure everything is fine and to find more methods to improve your work. After having a rough idea on Fiverr and how it works, you may start to think, what if I have too much traffic and I can't cope with them? What if I do not have enough time to finish the work? Is there any way for me to earn money but at the same time save my effort so that I don't have to work like a dog but still get my income? I can tell you, yes, there is a way for you to save your time and effort without cutting away from your income. The answer is brokering. So, who is a broker? What is brokering and how does it help? A broker is a go-between in making relationships, for example, a marriage broker. Otherwise, a broker is commonly known as the third party to a transaction providing a service to one of the parties, whereby the client could do the particular service by themselves but chooses not to. Thus, the broker mobilizes resources to facilitate exchange and action on the ground. Brokers establish a tenuous relationship with a large number of carriers. It is a marketing tool which acts as facilitators, middlemen, and matchmakers, the latter being the most common service. Now, how do you become a successful Fiverr broker who can earn a lot with minimum effort? There are several things to focus on before you become a successful Fiverr broker. Let me guide you through this ebook. First of all, identifying your need is a very important part. You don't want to extend your traffic in too many fields. Observe the marketplace and look for a niche that you can slip into. The biggest need will be in an area where the supply and demand structure is sluggish or does not otherwise satisfy the consumers and suppliers. Here, consumers equate to your client while suppliers are the outsource you find to provide the service for you. Services or specialty products are usually easier industries to break into as new middlemen. You must not stretch yourself too thin and be specific in one type of product or service. For example, if you are talented in graphic design, you can choose to reach out to people who are in need of specialization in this field, both consumers and suppliers. Prevent yourself from being obsolete by diversifying the sources and specifics of the overall product or service you're specializing in. Secondly, you will need to set up your own business. When you work as an independent middleman, you'll be establishing your own business. You will need to research on any restrictions involved and what kind of service you want to provide. Of course, by setting up your own business, you will need your traffic to flow in, which I will teach you later on. After getting your business and needs checked, it is time for you to research on your potential consumers and suppliers. Determine who the consumers of your chosen product or service are. It will depend on the nature of your intended business. Like I have mentioned above, you need to be specific and find your niche. Quality comes first before quantity. The quality of the service you provide to consumers must be top-notch, and the quality of the overall experience you offer to both suppliers and consumers must be of a high grade too. You can maximize success by becoming the person whom your consumers and suppliers turn to for a better experience. Of course, you will want your consumers to be satisfied with your job so that they will become loyal to you. Naturally, you'll be highly rated if you provide customer satisfaction, and highly rated services attract more traffic. This is actually a direct proportional act which will affect each other. Next, find as many potential suppliers for your chosen product or service as possible. Do your research on each one and narrow down the possibilities to the top 10. This is to ensure the returned work will be in good quality, which makes finding the right suppliers an important task to do. Furthermore, it is generally safer to work with multiple suppliers instead of a single source, regardless of the product or service you work with. Your business will go under as soon as your supplier decides to stop working with you, if you only have one supplier for your service. Moving on, you may ask for a quote. Contact your potential consumers and ask them to give their price quote on a certain quantity of product or quality of service. For example, you may request for an add-on with every extra 100 words written, or any extra colors for a logo design. But remember, add-ons must be reasonable or else you might scare them off. Negotiate with them so that you both can have the best price given. But of course, the needs and quotes of every single consumer may vary in different ways. Next, you can add your cuts to the cost. This is because you will earn money being a middleman by earning a certain commission from each sale you make. The exact amount can vary. It is based on how much your consumer offers and how much you offer to your suppliers. For example, your consumer offers you 10 USD for every 200 words for the content. You outsource this job to your supplier, ask for 2,000 words for the content, and offer a total of 30 USD. 2,000 words are equivalent to 100 USD, which means you have earned a total of 70 USD with the least effort. After the product is returned to you from the supplier, you may proceed to pass the information to your consumer. Listening to your consumer's feedback is also an important note to take. This is because you need to understand what your consumer really wants for their service and whether the service that your supplier gives to you matches the expectations of your consumer. The idea you have in your head may not be the best course of action. It is always good to have an open mind and be flexible to any idea provided. Observe both sides of your business carefully to determine how well your current process works and where you might need to improve. You may even consider asking the parties you work with to rate the experience or answer a few survey questions about it. Also, you have to stay responsive to both your consumers and suppliers. Make yourself easy to reach by giving out your contact number, social media accounts, or email. This is so that if there are any questions from any side, you will be able to respond quickly and clear their doubts. It is a win-win situation whereby you will gain a good reputation among your consumers and suppliers, and at the same time, get your own profits earned. So finally, why brokering? This is because it helps you to earn easy money. Who doesn't want to earn money with the least effort spent? Of course, I wouldn't say there's no effort spent because you will still need to generate your traffic to your account and optimize your profile in order to gain population. But you can lay back and see the money go into your account after that. Brokering also helps you to save time. After you have outsourced most of your work to your suppliers, they are the ones who will be busy. As for you, you may take your own sweet time and save on legwork. You see, just by taking some extra actions, you can make your life so much easier. You don't have to work like a dog to earn your income. Working smart is more efficient than working hard and will double up your saved time and work. So why hesitate? Let me show you how to be a successful Fiverr broker in no time. We all know that you need a resume when you apply for a job or go for an interview. Your Fiverr profile works just like your resume when you don't just say a few words about yourself. Think about it. Before committing to a company, you will probably research their background, company history, and reviews. Trust me, Fiverr buyers act just like that too. On Fiverr, the first thing most buyers will do before they click the purchase button is to check out your seller profile. So your Fiverr profile is where you make your first impression on your buyers. By reading your profile, buyers will be able to understand you, know your background and experience, and most importantly, you can gain their trust. Believe me, your customers' trust is worth more than anything. Remember that your Fiverr profile is a part of you, so it's important that buyers get a real sense of who you are and what matters to you. Your profile will be an expression of your passion on what you are into and what you are capable of. With a groomed Fiverr profile, you can even build up a good reputation amongst your customers, which leads to higher rating profiles. There are a few ways to optimize your profile, so are you ready for this section? Get yourself ready and let's go. When a person sees something, that person relates to the picture or color first, followed by words and texts. So a proper profile picture is essential for your Fiverr profile. The first step is choosing a picture that conveys the value you want to show. Choosing an image of an object, an animal, or anything else that isn't you doesn't help. It looks like you're trying to be anonymous, which is something that doesn't increase trust. As I've said earlier, your customer's trust is gold. For your profile picture, you do not have to put on airs to look cool. Just be comfortable about who you really are. Let me give you a situation. If a person you don't know added you on any of your social media accounts with a profile picture of an animal, would you accept their request? It is highly unlikely that you would. Same goes with your customer. After all, your customer doesn't choose you because of the way you look. It is what is inside you that matters the most. You don't want to be an empty can that makes the most noise. To make customers take notice of you, your profile description comes in handy. This is because it helps to cement your customer's first impression on you in a space of 2 tweets. You will need to be genuine when you are writing your background and experiences. Don't be biased. Stay honest and make your description short and sweet. Being dishonest on your profile description will never help and may bring negative reviews instead if found out. The next thing you need to take note on will be your vocabulary, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. All these are important because they create a professional appearance. Your customers may not be a grammar expert, but they would definitely know a poorly written article when they see it. Keep this in mind. Fiverr is a marketplace created predominantly for English-speaking customers, so the odds are stacked against non-native speakers. Hence, it's time to brush up on your grammar. All customers will not reject a fast delivery. Every customer wants to be your first priority and hopes that you get things done as quickly as possible. If you're not able to deliver quickly, try not to delay. It will be a big turn-off to your customer and it lowers your customer's trust. However, you can always set your standard delivery days. For example, if your standard delivery day is 4 days, you may offer your customer an extra fast delivery, which is 2 days. But you need to know your limit and not overexert yourself. Positive reviews are the key to attracting more customers. Good reviews build confidence and make customers more likely to buy from you. People are more likely to trust highly rated products in general. Thus, you may need to do everything possible to take care of your customers and earn their 100% affirmation and 5-star reviews. Not to worry, I will teach you on how to get 5-star ratings in the next chapter. By the way, do not buy reviews or create fake reviews. If your work is not outstanding, customers will see through the fake reviews and figure out that you're padding your own gigs. In this case, not only do you lose your customers' trust, you also lose your special ranking if you are a new seller on Fiverr. No matter how small an amount $5 has become in today's world, it is still something we do not want to risk as a bad experience. It is better if you and your customer achieve a mutual understanding on the issue of refunding. For example, if you cannot make your order right, promise your customer that you will fully refund the amount back. A mutual cancellation can be done peacefully with the right attitude. It is normal for people to get really sensitive when it comes to money issues. Customers tend to get cranky when their orders fail to reach their expectations after spending a certain amount of money to get their work done. You will get complaints and negative reviews that touch on money issues. When this occurs in your profile, your reputation and the effort you put in could be discarded in a flash. To get more people to be aware about your profile, you can create content with a blog post. Use social media accounts like Facebook or Twitter to share. If you don't have the time to create content or don't have the motivation to do so, you can always post tweets with your links for informative and interesting articles related to your service. Use helpful software like Buffer to schedule your tweets to your posts in advance so that you won't have to keep posting in order to grab attention. But take note, continuous self-promotion will only irritate people and cause them to unfollow you. Hence, in order to grab people's attention, you might want to craft some good tweets with attractive images. As I've mentioned above, people look at the colors first. Long texts or content will only bore them. The time will inevitably come when there may be something wrong with one of your gigs, or you're having a problem with your account, or a buyer leaves a completely unfounded negative review, or something awful happens that can only be solved by Fiverr's customer support department. Attitude is important. You don't want to be rude to them as they are your lifelines. Last but not least, do not be a copycat. It is very important for you to know this. Do not copy even if you are desperate for great gigs to boost your profile. Copying is rude and dishonest. If you do so, you're stealing others' ideas to make your own profits. If the original seller finds out about this, they can launch a report against you. By getting reported from the original seller, not only will your gig get taken down, your entire account could get closed down too. So it is very important that you do not copy. In order to maintain yourself as the top seller list on Fiverr, getting a 5-star rating for your profile is essential. You'll get more features from Fiverr when you receive the status of top-rated seller. By this, the chances of getting your gigs featured by Fiverr will become higher as well. This is why you need to be dedicated to your job and do your best in keeping your customers satisfied. Getting a 3-star rating will not be adequate. Get yourself at least a 4-star rating from each buyer you serve. As a seller, you would not want to miss out on this module on how to get and maintain 5-star ratings in Fiverr. Without further ado, let's get into it. As a seller on Fiverr, it is always great to have 5 stars or 100% ratings on your account. Not only does this help you get more sales, it also makes you an authority in your niche. If being a top-rated seller is your goal, it is also important to achieve your full 5-star rating. If you want a 100% positive rating on your account, you will of course need to give 100% of effort in doing your job. That's what every buyer wants, right? If I put you in the same situation, you would want your sellers to do their best too. The definition of a good quality job may vary from time to time because it depends on your customer's expectations. However, it is a must for you to reach your customer's expectations or even exceed it. Who doesn't want a better job done? A basic but important thing to remember is that you need to follow up on the order. It is important so that you can avoid delivering inadequate work. For example, if you're writing content, proofread your grammar and spelling to avoid mistakes. If you're designing a graphic or a logo, avoid putting the wrong color or sketch, which is different from what your buyer wants. Up next is to be punctual when delivering your job. Do not delay. Be determined when completing your responsibilities. Your buyer is paying you for your product, and you are not doing this for free or for charity. In regards to responsibilities, you wouldn't want the same thing to happen to you if you're the buyer. If you're having some problems in your process, reach out to the buyer and politely explain to them that their order would be delivered late. Customers are usually understanding if you provide clear and polite explanations. Sometimes your buyer might want to know more about what you can provide before they get in touch with you. Thus, adding details to your description will make it easier for them to understand, so that they will have a rough idea on what you're capable of before making their decision. Check this example of a description out. If you want a simple yet elegant logo, you can apply here. You'll get the following services, each for $5. Important: discuss the font before placing an order. High quality design from a low quality logo. Vector designing: redesigning basic logos from a previously designed logo. Extra charges on complex designs discussed before placing an order. Editing a logo. Adding or changing text. I do not draw or redraw human faces. If you have any issues or complaints, please do not leave a bad review. Instead, kindly message me so we can work things out. This also prevents misunderstandings between you and your buyer. If a misunderstanding occurs, you must always ask them to refer back to your description as solid proof instead of you debating with your buyer to defend yourself. Misunderstandings may create bad feelings and cause a higher possibility to lower down your rating. One word of advice: be responsible when doing your job. Do not treat this as freelance work. When you have the mentality that $5 jobs are not worth investing time and effort, you will not be able to deliver good quality work. Always think of this as an opportunity to improve your work. If you manage to keep this up, you can keep them as your long-term customers. People will always come back to you for your service if they have had good experiences dealing with you. Do not deliver the work if you're not satisfied with it. This is the key to delivering good quality work. Set your standards slightly higher so that if you are satisfied with the end result of your work, your client is going to love it even more. Another thing is not to go offline for a long period of time without checking your orders. If you're going to be away for some time, for example, going on vacation or attending a wedding, put your gig on vacation mode. But be sure to complete any job at hand or explain to the buyers that you would not be able to complete the job during that period. 5-star ratings will not only make your profile look good and give you the traffic you want, but also separate you from the average seller. After being separated from the average seller, buyers will have a clearer picture on who you are. You must aim to stand out amongst all other sellers in order to make more money. Buyers will be more willing to pay more if you're a 5-star rating seller. Believe me, 5-star ratings are much more trustworthy. There are a few methods to maintain 5-star ratings. If you know the game well enough, you'll understand the points that I'm going to say. Do whatever which is requested of you from the buyer, even if that means spending a few more hours on it. Run your Fiverr gig like you would run a business. Be courteous, and remember that the customer is always your biggest priority. Don't be afraid to over-deliver. Over-delivering doesn't mean that you're doing charity. It is a marketing technique that would make your buyer happy. Let's assume you promised 200 words but delivered 280 words instead. Who wouldn't be happy about a free bonus, right? You must understand that building up a relationship with your buyer is the only long-term solution to get them to come back to your service. The only way to build up a relationship with your potential customer is through the conversation with them. Thus, get to know your buyer well, and you can even refer to them by their first name. In fact, always name them first before you move on to your content. Even though it may seem insignificant, attitude makes a huge impact towards your job and yourself. You may be wondering how others earn up to hundreds or thousands of revenue just by offering services on Fiverr, if it is just worth $5 for every service. However, if you have already been in the Fiverr business for long, you would know the secret. Yes, it's through stacking up on gig extras. Gig extras are the main source of income. In marketing terms, the $5 work can be said to be the front-end product that you offer to attract potential customers. Once they get into your offer page, they will see the upsells, which are the gig extras on Fiverr. That being said, gig extras increase the revenue for 1 gig. Like I said, a gig extra allows you to earn more than $5 for 1 gig in Fiverr. You are creating your own sales funnel in Fiverr when you create gig extras for your gig. Through the sales funnel you've created, you do not need to send more traffic to the same place. By just offering the gig extras, you can generate larger profits with the same amount of traffic. Gig extras are the additional services that you can offer them on top of the gig for an additional price defined by the sellers. For instance, if you offer a 3-minute voiceover with $5, the gig extras that you can put here is an extra $10 for syncing the voiceover to the video. The prices for gig extras are all up to you, but take note of this: the gig extras that you offer must be congruent to your gig, and the price must be fair. Other than knowing why you should offer gig extras on Fiverr, one thing you need to take note of is the different Fiverr levels. You will get to offer more gig extras as you advance up each higher level. When you first get started on Fiverr, you'll be complimented with 2 gig extras by Fiverr. Meaning to say, other than the first gig of $5, you can add up to 2 gig extras with prices up to $20 each. Moving forward, if you are a level 1 seller, you will have the privilege to add up to 4 gig extras with prices up to $40. When you're given the status of a level 2 seller, which is also called the Pro League, you'll be given 5 gig extras up to $50 for each gig extra. When you have reached the top level, which is the top rated seller, you'll be given 6 gig extras up to $100 for 1 gig extra. This is the benefit that is exclusively offered to the top rated sellers. They could earn up to at least $600 for just 1 gig. And this is why sellers put in all effort to make their way through to achieve the top rated seller status. The higher the level, the more benefits you'll have. The more gig extras you create, the more revenue you can generate in 1 gig. Imagine if you could earn up to $300 a gig, and you have 10 gigs in queue. Hence, you'll earn about $3,000 a month. And this may be the least you can generate, as it could be more. And when you have more gigs on hand, you can generate more revenue than before, which you can then choose to outsource some or even all the gigs to freelancers. It will be more efficient to buy someone else's time to work for you. When you increase the revenue, the margin that you can offer to your freelancers would be higher too. Moving on, you increase the variety of your services when you increase the offer of gig extras. You offer a package of services to ease the work of your buyers. People always look for a place where someone could do everything for them. Offering gig extras is a great way to understand what your customers need. After some time, you can design a package of services and put it up as the custom offer for your customers. When people click on the custom offer, it will automatically pick on all the gig extras for them. Think of it as setting up a favorite order for them. Here's a small tip for you. You can set the price to be slightly lower than usual when offering them the custom offer. This would ease your customers' work as well as increase the purchase rate. On Fiverr, the procedure of being the middleman, in other words, brokering, can be complicated if you're not familiar with the system. From communicating and getting information from the customers, looking for and dealing with freelancers, to the delivering of work, it would be a big problem if you do not know the right way of doing this. In this video, I'll teach you about the brokering system and lead you step by step through the whole procedure. Without further ado, let's get started. Step 1. Connect with the client. This would be the most important part amongst all the other steps. Connecting with the client and understanding their needs are the keys to success, so communication with the client is essential. Throughout the conversation, get as much information as you can to understand clients' needs. The key point here is to be specific. Quality work can only be delivered when you can achieve what your clients want. If needed, collect the necessary files to be sent to the freelancers. Once you have obtained the information from your client, list them down and state the prices for each gig. Send them the custom offer according to their requirements. However, remember that they might not take up the offer if the price is too expensive. But once they've accepted the offer and made the payment, you can then proceed to the next step. Step 2 is to look for the freelancer. If you've already been in the business for some time, you would have already built up some connections with freelancers. Send the request from the client to freelancer. Take note before sending the request to rearrange the details of the gig. If there are special requirements from the client, list them as special remarks. Always remember to be specific on the request of the client when you convey the message to your freelancer. When both of you have made a mutual agreement on the work, set a timeline due. Set the date at least 30 days before the actual delivery date to your client. This is to ensure that there is still a period of time for you to make changes to refine the work. For example, if you are requested to deliver the job within a week, give your freelancer 4 to 5 days to complete the job. After dealing with the freelancers, you can now spare some time to connect with other clients or other jobs. However, note that you will have to keep track of the work progress. According to how you've dealt with your client, the date of delivery is already set. You can't afford to deliver it later than the date because this would definitely leave a bad impression on your clients. So be sure to keep in touch with the freelancer to check on the work progress. You must also be wise in choosing the right timing. Knowing the progress of the work is important, but you must also know when to look for the freelancer. Depending on the duration for delivery, you will need to set your timing. For instance, if the duration of delivery is within a week, you can contact the freelancer every once in 2 days. This is to make sure that the work is up to standard, as well as to keep both of you up to the timeline. Like I have mentioned earlier, get the work from the freelancer at least 3 days before the delivery date to do a final check on the work. Delivering good quality work is the key to keeping your clients happy. Therefore, to ensure the quality of work is up to standard, get the work earlier from the freelancer to avoid last-minute changes. When you are checking on the quality of work, always take the client's requirements into account. The quality of the work is based on the requirements from clients. It is neither up to you nor the freelancer to decide. Thus, check the work based on the information provided by your client. If needed, request for final revision of the work. Lastly, deliver the work to your client. Once you've gotten the entire work from your freelancer, compile them and save it in zip file if needed. Double or even triple check the work. A small tip here: create a checklist. For example, if you are requested to create a logo and have to save it in different formats, list them down on a paper. Check on the files and make sure you have all the formats in the folder. A checklist will ease your work on this. Finally, deliver it to your client. When you switch your role from a seller to a broker on Fiverr, you could free up your time because you can now outsource the job to freelancers. But this doesn't mean that you can stop working. Instead, fully utilize your time to generate traffic to your profile. No matter how cool or fabulous your gig is, you are not going to generate any sales if your profile is not visible to your potential clients. Thus, generating traffic to the profile becomes as important as delivering quality work. This is a time-consuming task, which requires a lot of effort. Hence, now that you have freed up your time by outsourcing the jobs to freelancers, you can focus on generating traffic to your profile. You have to get the word out about your gig and give them a reason to visit your profile. The first way of doing it is by spreading the news on social media platforms. As you already know, social media platforms can be a powerful tool nowadays. The news can be spread on the media like a contagious virus within hours. Start with creating your own fan page and promote your gigs on social media platforms. This would be the fastest and cheapest way. The cost for doing this can be said to be near to zero, as you do not need to pay anything for people to see it. Other than just promoting your gig through your fan page, join groups or forums that are related to Fiverr. Search for groups in Facebook. There are plenty of groups available. However, always look for active ones. If they are a closed group, request to join them. Once you have gotten the approval, start talking to the people there. Introduce yourself and start a conversation with the people there. Other than making the announcement of your gig over there, you can research on how other sellers promote their gig, especially the top-rated sellers in the group. Besides looking for opportunities on Facebook, you can post your status on Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Though social media platforms can be a really powerful tool to promote your gigs and increase the traffic to your profile, one thing that you can't forget is the star ratings on Fiverr. Even though people may click on your link and go to your profile, if your star rating is not as good as other sellers, you may lose them forever. Thus, accumulating a massive number of positive feedback to maintain your rating is essential. It is recommended that you keep your profile rating as 4 or above out of the 5. Visitors evaluate sellers based on the star rating nowadays. They compare the star rating of sellers and pick the one with a higher rating. When your profile has a higher star rating and more positive feedback than negative feedback, visitors are more likely to choose you over the others. Another great way to generate traffic to your profile is by focusing your profile to a targeted niche. Unlike aiming for the general market, you are now focusing on just one market. Instead of getting everyone to see your profile, you need to be picky on your clients now. To do this, you will need to do a bit of optimization on your gig description. For instance, instead of using general keywords such as a logo and video, change it to a business logo or speed drawing video. When you use a gig description like this, you are at the same time narrowing down the market. If this sounds bad, it's actually not. When you're focusing on a targeted niche, visitors are more likely to get your profile in the search results when they are looking for specific services on Fiverr. Do some research on the hot keywords that visitors will usually search for on Fiverr, and then optimize your gig description with those keywords. This way, when visitors search for specific services, chances that your gig page appears in the homepage are higher. Aim for a focused niche and get quality clients on Fiverr. Last but not least, you can conduct your own advert campaigns on social media platforms such as Facebook and YouTube. If you own a Facebook fan page, you can run an advert campaign with it. Once you've created the campaign and set up the targeted group which you wish to show your ad, you could possibly get connected to the untapped users that you never knew would be interested in your service. Beyond Facebook, Twitter would be the largest social media platform people always hang out on. You can post your status and even create your own hashtag that will link to any of your social media profiles. If you have a video to promote your gig, you can upload it to YouTube and run an ad campaign for it. You may think running advert campaigns on Facebook and YouTube may incur huge costs, but the good news is you run everything under your control. You can set your own budget on how much you would spend for the campaign. I will not talk about how to set up your advert campaigns here because it's a totally different ballgame. Moving on, if you have your own website or even your own mailing list, do not hesitate to mail out your gig offer to them. According to research, 44% of email recipients make at least one purchase based on a promotional email. From this statistic, you can see that people actually open and make a purchase from promotional emails. If you already have a mailing list, do not hesitate to send them your offer. If you do not have one, it's time to start building one. You leave a lot of money behind without building up your own mailing list. You can send them the promotional emails whenever you have a new gig or new product to share with them. Now that you already have the knowledge on how to generate your traffic to your profile, do you know that finding a freelancer to work with you is something to learn too? As you know, there are loads of freelancers out there who are willing to work, but are they all qualified for you? This is an important question to ask because you don't want to hire them without knowing them. The quality of your freelancer is equal to the quality of your product at the end of the day. So, how can you approach your freelance to work for you with quality assured? Let's get started. Nowadays, people can't live without the internet and their social media account. They will keep browsing and scrolling through to kill time. As I've mentioned in the previous section, social media is a good engine for you to gain traffic as well as for you to recruit. For people who are more and more internet-oriented, it is easier for you to get what you want. You could filter your friends list according to your recruitment needs. Use filter software like Manage Filter to speed up your findings so you could double up your work. Also, there are groups and pages for freelance jobs on Facebook. Join them to see if there's any talent who matches your need, or you could post your need in the group to recruit your potential freelancers. In case you're not an active person on social media, there is another way to find potential freelancers, using freelancer websites. There are several sites for you to choose from. Examples are Agent Solo, All Freelance Work, and Upwork. You can filter them accordingly with your location, fields, and patterns. Find websites with responsive admins and freelancers. This is because if you encounter any problems, you will at least know who to turn to. Before you go into the website, make sure you understand their terms, policies, and conditions, especially on credit transferring and refunding issues. Establish a clear communication with the support and read their website policies before you start to use their freelancers. Now you have a picture on how to recruit your talents. It's time to determine your strategies on how to ensure your freelancers' quality. Allow me to ask you a few questions. If you're a buyer, how would you go about choosing a freelancer to work for you? What kind of products would you expect from your talent that you have hired? If you make a bad choice, it will affect the balance between you and your buyer, which creates bad feelings. I'm sure you know where bad feelings can lead your business to. Thus, to avoid all these from happening, you will need a good plan and some strategies before you get into the recruitment business. First, recruit wisely. You need to know who you are working with. Get to know your freelancer from their profile and description. If there is no description, try to look for their contact. Message them directly to ask for their background and experience, or try searching for their social media accounts. Did you know that you can see a person's character from their social media behavior? It is even better if the person shares their work in public on social media. You can then preview their job for free. For example, you chance upon a photographer who shares his work publicly on his Instagram account. You can direct message him from your Instagram if you're interested in his work. Just like your buyers choose you for your good reviews, you choose your talent with good reviews too. As I said earlier, who doesn't want to work with a better person? Collect all their profiles and reviews. You can narrow them down to 5 or 10 according to your business and how much you can manage. This is something that you can't rush through, so take it one step at a time. Read and determine their abilities carefully before you finally hire them. Furthermore, revising the work done is essential to you. Remember, you need to make sure the quality matches your buyer's expectation and also your own reputation. Otherwise, buyers may doubt your ability and also the reviews you get. This is why the talent you hire plays an important role in keeping you as a successful broker. You need to be strict on the quality. Despite telling your talent what it is your buyer needs, I would suggest you to revise the work done before delivering it to your buyer. It is always good to double and triple check to assure the quality and correct any mistakes. Since they have already done most of the work for you, there is nothing to lose in spending some time to double check their work. Also, by revising the work done, you're able to have a deeper understanding on which freelancer is worth to work with, and you may even consider a long-term buyer-seller relationship. In order to have time to revise their job, you will need to speed up the exchange. It is not just about the issue on checking, but also to avoid delayed deliveries to your own buyer. For example, you promise your buyer a 7-day period to complete your job, so you have to request a 5-day job done from your talent. Give yourself at least 2 days to review the job if you have a couple of businesses going on. Schedule yourself to check on the working process from time to time so that you can give some advice if the working process is slow, or if your talent meets some problems which he's not able to resolve himself. Do not hesitate to help your talent. A little help from you may mean a lot to them. It is not just about saving you from the hassle of late deliveries, but also to build up your reputation amongst them to earn their loyalty. Relying on freelancers and other third parties is a must when brokering in Fiverr. There are many issues which can arise from this. For instance, how can you determine that the person on the other end of the computer is honest in his or her dealings? There's no way to be 100% sure that everything will go smoothly because you will never know who the person is on the other end. Hence, the process of screening and filtering freelancers is unavoidable for a broker. It may be a time-consuming procedure, but once you get the connection with the freelancers, you can resume working with them if they have proven to provide quality service and work. Here are a few methods that will help keep you at ease. You're going to go through a series of filters before you decide to contact them. Without further ado, let's move on to the first level. First and foremost, you must pick the right place to post your offer. Use established marketplaces on the internet. The difference between non-established and established marketplaces is that established ones will keep only good quality freelancers. There is already a large pool of freelancers available in these established marketplaces. The following are a list of established marketplaces where you can find quality freelancers: Agent Solo, All Freelance Work, and Upwork. Many potential candidates will send you the link to their profile once you get your job posted. Read through the feedback they've gotten. Even though such information may not be able to show you exactly how reliable they are, but it does ease your work if you are hiring the freelancer for the first time. Filter the candidates by their ratings. After you've posted the job in the marketplace, you'll get a bunch of responses from freelancers hoping to get the job. Contacting them one by one would be time-consuming. To solve this problem, filter them according to their ratings. This would also help you to decrease the number of candidates. In general, there are two types of rating systems, which are the 10-point rating system and the 5-star rating system. If the marketplace that you use is using the 10-point rating system, make sure the freelancers have at least 8 points and above. If they're using the 5-star rating system, look for freelancers with at least 4 stars and above. The rating system runs this way. When their services are satisfying, their buyers will leave them positive ratings, which contributes to their overall rating. Thus, the higher the rating, the better the service they manage to provide. In this level, filter them out according to their ratings, then move on to the next step. The next method would be reading through the feedback and reviews in the profile. If you can, try to look for their profile on other platforms like Facebook. From their profiles, you can evaluate them better. From these networks alone, you may not be able to get in-depth details of their work habits, but you will be able to know their general online behavior through the content they share online. It would be a good reference for you to understand the freelancers better. However, if you're not up to looking up for their profile on other platforms, you can go to their profile in the marketplace. When you are on their profile page, scroll down to look for reviews and feedback from their former buyers. Read the reviews and feedback in their profile. It is acceptable to have a few negative reviews or feedback because there are always difficult clients that have requirements which are nearly impossible to fulfill. However, read through the comments and take note of it. Here's a side note for you. Like I mentioned, it is acceptable to have a few negative feedback, but make sure that there is at least 90% of positive feedback from the buyers. By this stage, you should be left with just a few candidates that you would like to start a conversation with. The rest can be the backup. Start a conversation with each of them, as you can evaluate their character throughout the conversation. First things first, you can evaluate them by how they reply to your request. For instance, you can assess someone in terms of how long they take to respond to your request. This way, you will know how fast they will get back to you when you contact them in the future. From the way they respond to your request, you will get to evaluate their professional working attitude in handling the work you pass to them. If needed, you may get their email address in case of any emergencies. In some instances, the marketplace server may be down or hacked. If so, you will have a second method to communicate with them. Finally, ask for their portfolio as a reference to evaluate their work. This can be said to be an essential part. Evaluating the portfolio would be the final factor that you will need to walk through before agreeing to use their work and offering them the job. You should not accept their service before getting to see their past work. Regardless of anything else, the capability to provide quality work is the utmost important factor that you must put priority on when it comes to screening for freelancers. Whether they can perform well or not is not depending on the way they speak, but on their actions. Therefore, other than evaluating the way they handle work, you will need to evaluate the work from them. This is to ensure that you can provide the best service to your clients as well. Let's assume you are a broker on Fiverr. Other than screening and filtering freelancers, pricing your offer to the freelancer is always a complicated issue, especially when you are new to the system. To set a price of your job offer from the earnings on Fiverr would be a big question mark for some. There is no 100% guarantee that you'll get a perfect freelancer all the time, so dealing with a difficult freelancer is unavoidable sometimes. As you may already know, negotiating with difficult freelancers is not an easy task and requires certain techniques. You need to think in terms of how a freelancer would think when you're setting up the prices for them, such as factors that will affect whether they will take up the offer or not. The cost plus factor comes first. When you can offer a price that is worth more than what they will need to do, it makes an irresistible offer to grab. The market price is the next factor. You must not offer a price that is too different from the market price. You may not know how to start researching on the market price if you have just begun. Here's what you can do. Visit all the other marketplaces. search for keywords, and mark down the prices offered by the other sellers. For instance, if you're looking for a graphic designer to draw a logo for you, look for the keyword logo design in the marketplace. From here, you can see how much people usually offer to the freelancers. Moving on, the third factor is value-driven. This is once again a factor that is related to the first factor, the cost-plus factor. Regardless whether you are a buyer or seller, people always look for the value. What's in it for me is the first question that will pop up in our minds. As a seller, you must be able to show them the value. Cost-plus factor plays a vital role in the brokering system. When a gig is not profitable, freelancers are more than likely to turn down the offer. They accept gigs based on the offers that can earn more than what they will need to do. This includes the time that will be needed to invest, and whether the time they invest to work on your job is worth the price or not. If they could have worked for another gig with the same amount of time but with a higher pay, they will definitely go for the second offer. To calculate the cost plus for a gig is relatively easy. All you will need is the unit cost and the desired profit margin. For instance, if the wages for a workday is $15, to finish the whole project we'll need at least 1 week. Hence, the unit cost will be 30 times 7, which equals to $105. So, if the gig doesn't offer more than $105, freelancers are more likely to put your gig offer as their last option. Leveraging market rates is solely based on the marketplaces in which you are offering your gig, where you look at the marketplaces and the prices of other gigs to identify what costs others are offering and make decisions based on that. You can do some research on the other gig prices offered by other sellers in the marketplace, especially about the gigs in the same field. Once you have the information needed, set a price that does not run too far away from the margin. It can be slightly higher or lower than the others. Try to find a balance between that which can satisfy both your financial budget and the cost plus of the freelancers. It is not an easy task to set the price to be win-win all the time, but always remember to refer to the market price. The market prices in comparison to international freelancers may vary. That said, if you're using international marketplaces, you will need to understand the local and international market. Last but not least, freelancers are value-driven. Like I've said, this is a factor that goes together with the cost-plus factor. People will always look for a gig that can profit them. Even if they've decided to take up the offer that does not profit them, they will work equivalent to the price you've offered. That said, the lower the price, the lower the quality of work they will deliver to you. Thus, always ask for further information from freelancers. For instance, a standard voiceover costs $100. But if you want it to be synced with a video, it'll be another $50. You can ask the freelancers to send you a custom offer with all the gigs listed out with prices, like how Fiverr is doing now. This way, you will know what you've paid for, as well as collect references for future use. Be prepared to negotiate with freelancers. They may be difficult sometimes, but you as a seller must stand firm on your point of view as well. If the price they ask for is not favorable as well as unprofitable, do not be afraid to turn down the offer from the freelancer. The price structures can work 3 ways, which are calculated by hourly rates, daily, monthly rates, and project-based rates. Hourly rates and daily or monthly rates are usually for sellers who like to hire for long term. If you are not keen on running around looking for freelancers every single time you receive orders from your clients, you can look for someone who is willing to work long term. There are, of course, also cons if you're hiring them for long term. You will never get to know the person that works from you. That being said, you will not know what happens if he or she is missing in action. In case of emergency, you wouldn't know how to contact them other than through emails. The ideal price structure will be project-based, which you'll pay them once per project. This way, you do not need to worry about the issue of commitment. You can always go back to the same freelancers if you find the job they completed has achieved most of the positive feedback from your clients. Here are some tips for you when you're drafting the price of your gig for freelancers. First of all, you need to know the minimum acceptable rate of the freelancers and not offer a gig lower than that. And then, as a broker on Fiverr, you should pay your freelancers from the earnings you receive from the client. Calculate your own profits in between after you pay the freelancer. If the return on investment is low, discard the request. When the ROI is low or even negative, it's said that the job isn't profitable. After you have gotten everything on track and start to deal with diverse clients and freelancers, this is the time where you may feel challenged. Even though this means you actually own a great business and you're doing things right, you still need to be prepared for whatever future you are heading to. The more people you cope with, the more difficulties are faced. There are many different types of personalities that you'll encounter, and you will need to make yourself flexible enough to bear with them. Managing your freelancers is not an easy task, especially when dealing with those difficult ones. Do not ever underestimate this. I will share with you the issues you may face and the solutions to these problems. It is essential to determine how your freelancer works. There are a lot of what-ifs to be foreseen. For example, what if he or she is a draggy person? What if they take it slow and complete their work at the very last minute? This is why scheduling is helpful for the work to be done. You need to set up a strict time phase or deadline for your freelancers and let them know that you're very precise about time. You can even contact them a day before the deadline just to check in on their progress. Write an email or message them. It is even better if they are okay with a local phone call. If your freelancers are not based locally, an email and a message would be good. Remember, a little rushing won't hurt, but you will need to take note of your tone in both writing and talking. Rushing is not threatening. It is your right to rush, but threatening people will only scare them off and set a bad reputation for yourself. Furthermore, there is a situation where your freelancer is not satisfied with the amount of money you pay. Trust me, it happens. So in this case, what should you do? First, establish a friendly negotiation. You do not want to push yourself to a dead end by insisting on your initial pay. Try to bargain with them and work things out together. If you feel uncertain on giving extra pay to people you don't know well, you can promise a bonus if they are able to finish their work on time with splendid quality. In this situation, no one loses. Of course, you can always call off a deal if you are not comfortable or if you think your freelancer is asking too much from you. Settle for a mutual cancellation and find another freelancer who's willing to work for you with your pay. If the majority of your freelancers raise up the payment issue, then it is time for you to readjust the pay you offer. Try not to think of how much you have to lose, but of the loyalty that you've earned. If a little increase in pay gets you loyal freelancers, don't you think it's a good way to go? All right, enough on difficult freelancers. Did you know some barriers can only be resolved by yourself? This kind of barrier is far more difficult to deal with because you are struggling with your own will. There will be the time when you need to let go of something in order to achieve your success. Let's get you prepared. Your biggest challenge will be time management. This happens when you have too much traffic at the same time. Great business comes with a price, and time will be your price. This is where you will need to be flexible and keep your mind clear. Communicate with your buyers and also outsource your work systematically to your freelancers. The important thing is not to be frightened by the jam. It is actually a good sign, but you will need to have a clear head to handle this. Also, do not be afraid to say no to your buyers if you really can't afford the traffic. Being honest to your buyer is better than messing up your business. Buyers will not leave any bad comments or reviews if you talk to them nicely and politely. They'll understand. It is good if you're able to handle your traffic accordingly, but this may be the time where your daily life and working life gets messed up. You may be unable to separate yourself into several parts for your work, family, or friends. You may even have no time for yourself. Here's a point to note. A successful person works with quality. If you know your business is great, on track, and doing well, you may choose buyers with the higher price offered. With all the good reviews and 5-star ratings, it is not that hard to get the deal. You can slow down your business by accepting higher paid jobs and outsourcing them to your freelancers. Thus, you can spare yourself some time to have a good meal and quality time with your friends and family. Remember, successful people do not work like a dog. They work smart. Finally, our section has come to an end. I hope you've learned something. Now, in this very last section, I will give some suggestions on tools that would enhance your brokering business and overcome some challenges you've encountered. I am sure you would want to know about techniques to ease up your management, right? When I say management, it is not just about brokering, but also includes your time management and social media management. As we all know, people nowadays do not carry their laptops everywhere. we are more likely to carry our phones and tablets when we go out. The reason is obvious. Not only is it for convenience, but it is also lighter to carry. So I'm going to suggest a few applications for iOS and Android users to smooth up the brokerage. Sound good to you? Let's get started. There are some basic applications that we all know. For example, Dropbox. Dropbox gives you 2 gigs of free cloud storage, and you can bump that up to 1 terabyte for $10 a month. Dropbox provides a wide range of features, including shared folders synced across multiple users and devices. Don't just send your clients your Fiverr seller's Dropbox link. Put the file in your own Dropbox and send them the link from your account. Besides that, you could also use Skype to communicate with your client or freelancer. Normally, people will not reject a phone call through Skype. It is essential for you if you manage to talk to your client and freelancer. The chances of knowing them are higher as compared to pure writing. When it comes to a billing issue, I would suggest you use Nutcash. It accepts credit cards and PayPal. It's free, easy, and painless to bill your client. The important thing is that it looks extremely professional. In order to look professional in gaining your client's trust, create a simple one-page website to show some of the samples you've sold, display what your business is about, and why are you the best for them. Trust me, it's more convincing to use your own professional-looking site instead of just a few lines of description. WordPress is a good platform to build a site for people to understand and read at ease. Remember to keep your site simple and nice. In addition, there are some free applications for phones and tablets that are useful to you too. However, an application like Mail Tracker is only available for iOS users. The biggest obstacles for projects to get completed can be when people refuse to read their emails, which is where Mail Tracker comes in handy. This helpful iOS app syncs with the iPhone's mailbox and can send you a detailed notification of when the other person reads a message, where they read it from, and etc. It is very convenient for you when you are checking the process with your freelancers. In this case, you can tell whether they are telling lies or whether they are really busy. In case you are a forgetful person, Pushbullet ensures that you never forget anything. The app syncs with your computer and can display all of your notifications from your phone right on the screen. Pushbullet can let you send files between devices, which can be immediately downloaded. So you would lessen the risk of missing any job review for your freelancer before you send it out to your client. The best thing about Pushbullet is that it's available on a variety of platforms, including iOS, Android, Chrome, and Firefox. If you prefer to buy an app with more features, here's my suggestion. When it comes to project management, Basecamp is one of the biggest names around. The service provides a centralized place for organizing and coordinating projects, allowing teams to create notes, lists, and schedules, upload files and plans, assign and manage tasks, and communicate with colleagues about progress on each individual element. In this case, it is easier for you to communicate with your freelancers on the progress. With the company's multi-platform approach, you can view and edit anything you need from any device you have handy. However, you'll need a Basecamp subscription, which is free for 60 days, that runs anywhere from $20 to $150 a month. It is available for iOS, Android, and also the web. Next is an app for you to keep yourself on track. Unfortunately, it is only available for iOS and Mac users. Clear is a simple and well-designed to-do list to help you stay on track. You can easily drag and reorder your to-dos, and adding a new item is as easy as pulling down your list and typing it in. When you're done with a task, just swipe right. Clear makes it easy to jot down a thing you need to do and pull it up on either your Mac, iPhone, or iPad, and it all syncs over iCloud. If you're really weak in planning and time management, this app will definitely give you some help. Finally, we have come to the very last part of the section. Here, I would like to talk about some social media managing apps that I have mentioned in the previous sections, which are Buffer and ManageFlitter. Buffer is a software application designed to manage social networks. Buffer allows users to schedule posts sent through the application to the user's social media accounts. This feature can schedule and send posts to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, App.net, and Google+. There are various default time slots in the application, which are based on the times during the day when social media users are most active online. The free version of this app only allows 10 posts at a given time and only allows the management of one social media account per social media website. On the other side, there is a paid version of Buffer named Awesome that allows you to schedule 100 posts at any time and allows the management of up to 10 social media profiles. It is available for both iOS and Android users and also the web. On the other hand, ManageFlitter is a web-based application that assists Twitter users to gain insight into their Twitter account. ManageFlitter provides a set of tools that allows Twitter users to effectively curate, prune, and grow their Twitter account. In addition, ManageFlitter provides an easy way for users to integrate their Google Plus account with their Twitter account. It also allows Twitter users to identify people who don't follow them or lack other desirable traits and subsequently unfollows them. ManageFlitter users can analyze their Twitter account data in a variety of ways with ManageFlitter.